The New South Wales Government Graduate Program is an 18-month program for graduates of all disciplines. Graduates complete 3 6-month rotations across government agencies. The program has 2 streams. Graduates in the primary stream complete a Diploma of Government, and graduates in the legal stream complete a Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice. The support network for graduates and managers includes agency coordinators, who are the first point of contact for program-related queries, mentors and executive sponsors who share career advice, experiences and contacts with graduates, as well as the Public Service Commission's Graduate Program team. Graduates also connect with their cohort at networking events. Treat your graduate like any other new team member. Ensure they receive a proper orientation, have their workstation set up and are introduced to relevant stakeholders. Graduates are eager to learn and shape their career with New South Wales Government. Managers play a significant role in keeping graduates engaged throughout the program. Make sure you provide them with meaningful work. Performance and development plans are important for graduates' career development. Setting clear work objectives that are realistic and achievable, and regularly checking in with your graduate is vital to setting them up for success. Upon successful completion of the program, graduates are offered an ongoing role with their home agency. For more information, read the manager's fact sheets or contact your agency coordinator or the graduate program team.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming to our talk today on the New South Wales Government Graduate Program. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we all gather today. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and recognise and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to lands and waters of New South Wales. I also acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in the meeting today. My name's Donna and I work for the New South Wales Public Service Commission, and I'm here with my colleague Gemma. Today we'd like to provide you an overview of the components of the program and how we can work with you to set graduates up for success. If you have any questions, please ask them at the end of the presentation. I will now talk to you briefly about the program structure. We know at times that working in New South Wales can be complex, and we think the program design provides graduates with the support they need. We have designed a program that recognises that most learning happens on the job, but is even better when it's supported by good relationships and formal development. There are 3 components to the program, and altogether they are designed to give our graduates the tools they need to springboard their leadership career once they finish the program. The experience component includes all graduates participating in the 18 months program with 3 6-month rotations across various agencies. The primary stream graduates rotate within a variety of team and functions within an agency, whereas our legal stream gain experience in either policy, litigation and advice. All graduates are converted to ongoing roles upon successful completion of the program. And for our legal graduates, they will be eligible to be admitted as a solicitor. Rotations are based on business requirements, that is the qualifications and functional area of interest that you have advised us, and also the functional area of interest that a graduate has nominated at the application stage. Our responsibility is to provide graduates a diverse experience, so they don't get to choose where they want to go, and we do ask that they keep an open mind. The exposure component is the same across both streams, with all graduates participating in the mentoring program, being assigned a mentor, an executive sponsor, and being invited to various program networking events. During this climate, I would really encourage your graduate to make sure that they are connecting with their mentor on a regular basis. For our legal stream graduates, they also have industry exposure with Law Society workshops and networking events. At these events, we arrange some very inspirational speakers to talk from the public and the private sector. For our upcoming virtual event in November, we have Jim Betts, Secretary DPI, who'll be speaking to the graduates. These events are a really great opportunity for our graduates to come together as a group, and especially now in this current climate. They, share their experiences and ask how each other are going. And it is for this reason that we ask that you ensure that your graduate attend these events. The third component of the program is education, and this is where the streams differ. While graduates in the primary stream complete a Diploma of Government with UNE partnerships, the legal stream graduates will complete their Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice through the College of Law. The Diploma of Government commenced in March this year and is delivered over a 12-month period. For the legal stream graduate, the Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice will commence in September and will run through to the end of the program. And once completed this program and the requirements of the PLT, the graduates will be eligible to be admitted as a solicitor in New South Wales. The education component is mandatory and a critical part of the graduate's development. These courses will be delivered through a series of virtual workshops due to the current climate, self-directed e-learning, and in the case of the primary stream graduates, work-based projects. The legal stream graduates also have a work experience component, and supervision must be provided by an Australian legal practitioner who is currently practicing. The legal graduates, as I mentioned, will commence a graduate diploma in September. Graduates are entitled to a half day off each week if required to complete their assessments. And we know that some of the primary stream graduates are struggling with working from home and are behind with some of these assessments. We have asked the graduates to let you know what they are studying each module, what assessments are coming up, but maybe you could commence a conversation with them to discuss what the module is about. You would have already received an email from us, and we will be sending this out now prior to each module, which actually explains what the topic is and what needs to be completed. There is a requirement for managers in both streams to sign off the graduate's work that is relevant to their studies. Before I talk about your role as a manager, I think it is important that we understand the graduate's profile, both at time of hire and the program end. We work quite extensively with senior managers across agencies on the program design and on the profile at time of hire and those at the program end. These attributes and capabilities also helped inform the rigorous assessment and selection approach that the graduates have been through. Some of you may have participated as an assessor. From the assessment centre processes, we have put together a development report which outlines the types of assessments used, a summary of the results, and some strengths and opportunities for development. It is a good starting point to use for their performance and development plan, which we will talk about in a moment. With regards to the attributes, you will see in the third column some of the key attributes that the graduates will have developed by the end of the program, giving them the foundational skills in public administration and working in government, which they need for a good start in their career. The end profile attributes have been incorporated into the program development. These include being able to write for government, such as briefs, policy documents, and so on. Understanding the Westminster system of government, applying project management skills, and importantly, being adaptable and resilient. I'll now hand you over to Gemma, who will talk about performance and development.
Thanks, Donna. So I'm going to give you a bit of information around performance and development as it relates to our program. Performance discussions are an opportunity for managers to prepare and plan, which records information about the graduates' work objectives and capabilities. Provide graduates with feedback and development advice. Assist the next placement manager to understand the development needs of the graduate and set them up for success at the end of the program. And justify any decision to transition the graduate into an ongoing role or a higher graded role at the end of the graduate program. Remembering that some of these graduates have never worked before, so make their objectives clear, realistic and achievable to set them up for success. It's your responsibility to manage the performance and development of your graduate. Like any other team member, you're responsible for managing any performance issues that may arise. And if there are any performance issues, please inform your agency coordinator, the PSC, and the next placement manager if necessary. So our number one priority is to give everyone a diverse government experience. We know from our research why graduates are attracted to our program. The number one reason is the diverse experiences and work we offer through our rotations. New South Wales Government has a very strong value proposition and the choice and opportunities available and the clear correlation of work we do for the community of New South Wales. The reputation of our program is strong in the graduate employment market and we want to maintain this. We are number 4 in the Australian Financial Review Top 100 Graduate Employer listing, and we have been voted the most popular government and defence employer in Australia for the 2nd year running. On that note, not everyone will always have a magnificent time. There will be projects and parts that they don't like working on, or agencies that they may prefer over others. You as the manager play a really important role in engaging with the graduate about this. Meaningful work is also critical as a manager. Meaningful work is also critical. As a manager, you need to ensure that graduates are provided this. They are highly capable and able to do more than administrative tasks. We survey graduates regularly, and having interesting and challenging work and receiving feedback from their manager contributes significantly towards their making their placement rewarding. Some types of work graduates have done include developing policy to help shape child protection in New South Wales, monitoring and reporting on the delivery of projects, including the development of communication plans and budget updates, implementing strategies, process and systems improvements, research and analysis to support evidence-based policy, and working on the ICT digital government strategy, user journey mapping, functional testing and analysis, and the design of the other ICT solutions. If you have more than one graduate in your agency, one thing that the PSC did was give the cohort a group project to work on while they were working in different parts of the Public Service Commission. This provided a way to drive engagement with graduates and provide them with an opportunity to manage a project and present the work back to our executive. So all graduates in this program complete 3 performance and development plans throughout their 18 months, one for each 6-month placement. They use our dedicated online platform introduced in 2019, which ensures consistency as well as visibility for the home agency and placement agency. And importantly, for the next placement manager. The 2020 cohort will be the first to complete the full end-to-end process, with all 3 PDPs being online. If this is your first time managing a graduate in this program, you will have been invited to activate your access to this platform last week. I do note that a couple of you booked in today weren't on our list provided by the agency, so if you will be the person managing your graduate's PDP and you don't yet have access, please email us at the address on screen. After this meeting, we can get you set up. This system only provides access to 1 manager per graduate, so if you're in a co-managing situation, only 1 person will have the access, and you should collaborate on the graduate's PDP offline. The on-system manager can be updated at any time by contacting us or your agency coordinator. When you access the platform, on your dashboard, you will see a list of your assigned graduates with their overall PDP status and a section for your active tasks, noting their due date and the current status on the right. The system will send you and your graduate notifications and reminders. So when you click on your assigned graduate, you'll see the details of their placement. In the top section, you can download their development report, which, as Donna mentioned, is created from their application and assessment to join the program and is packed with information. In the same area, using the blue button pictured, you can download a previous placement PDP. Use these 2 reports to understand the graduate's strengths and areas for development. Read the previous manager's commentary and assessment of their capabilities to help inform your discussions and their objectives for the new placement. There are 2 components to the PDP, the plan and the review. In the platform, you can see the open and due dates and again the status of each component. Work with your graduate to define their objectives early. The plan should be entered and approved within the first 4 weeks of the placement. This should be used as a living document, and the graduate can edit their objectives throughout the placement if priorities change. You can also download a copy of the plan to refer to in your regular discussions. The review component will open 5 weeks prior to rotation and is due 1 week prior. There must be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 4 of each performance and development objectives, and they require at least 2 key milestones or action steps each. The system is fully automated, and as I said, you and your graduate will receive notifications and reminders along the way. Your agency coordinator oversees the PDPs and completion and is notified of progress. On this page, you can see examples of the format of the two types of objectives. There's also a help menu available if needed at any time. So the PDP platform is accessible via our resources site, which Donna will talk about in a moment. Access to the platform is generally provided on day one of the placement, if for new managers. Otherwise, your new graduate will be added on day one of the placement to your current access. General PDP and process queries can be directed to your agency coordinator, or for IT support, you can email the address on screen. And I'll now hand you back to Donna to talk about ongoing roles.
Thanks, Gemma. Another important component of the program is that graduates will be offered ongoing roles in their home agency at level on successful completion of all components of the 18 months program, including no unsatisfactory conduct, meeting all capabilities by the program end, and completing and passing all coursework for the Diploma of Government or the Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice. This is a mandatory component of the program. It's a good idea to start having discussions in rotation 3 or before with your agency coordinator about where you may place your graduate when they are converted to ongoing. As much as possible, we want graduates to complete the program. They are high potential. They've come through an application pool of around 4,000 applications. They do need time to learn about government and develop, so please encourage them to do so. Along with the mentor and executive sponsor, it is also a great idea for you to also stay in contact with your graduate when they are away on rotation. In addition to converting the graduate to an ongoing at level at the end of the program, I'm just letting you know for your information that a GSE rule has been introduced last year, which allows the promotion of a graduate employee who completes an improved graduate program. Graduates can be promoted to a maximum of 2 levels higher than when they completed the program without agencies having to advertise the role. That is a 5-6 or a 7-8. Graduate promotions to 2 grade hires would only be in exceptional or rare circumstances. And this rule has been designed to fast track the careers of those graduate employees who have demonstrated a standard of performance that has exceeded expectations by the end of the program, demonstrated they have the capabilities, knowledge and experience needed for the higher level role, and demonstrate satisfactory conduct. This will help with agency workforce planning at the end of the program and to assist in graduate retention. To help with this, a graduate may be considered for a promotion within a reasonable time towards the end of the program. That is 3 months prior, but not to use the GS rule until they are finished the program. Comprehensive guidelines have been developed to help you understand and use this GSE rule. So just to summarise, graduates are converted at level, that is to a grade 3, 4 or equivalent at the end of the 18 months program in their home agency. The decision to use GSE Rule 28 to promote a graduate to a higher level role at the end of the program is made at the agency's discretion. So some of the considerations for managers could be an agency having a vacant role, the preferred approach to filling a role is determined by the agency, and the graduate meeting the requirements for promotion. Finally, all our program materials have been uploaded onto a resourcing site we have put together for managers and coordinators. This includes a detailed program guide, which contains a lot of the information we have presented today, templates, role descriptions, and a calendar of events, so you know what is planned for the graduates. Your agency coordinator is here to help you, so please reach out to them if you're unsure of anything, and we are in regular contact with them. This website will ensure that you'll always have access to up-to-date resources. That's the end of our presentation. So we're sort of open now to any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Gemma. It's Sam Bathurst from Learning Improvement. So in summary, sorry, this is my first graduate. In summary, we need to go in, download the the PDP development plan, have a look at that. And the first step is really to do the complete the placement plan. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, Sammy. So it's sitting down with your graduate, having a look at what was looked at their first performance and development plan, like looking at maybe where they need to develop. Maybe in their first plan, it says that might be development required of one of the capabilities. So you might be then in this particular placement looking at, okay, my graduate really needs to develop this capability. What can I be assigning them to help develop that particular capability?
Great, thank you. And I guess the last question I have is regarding the next rotation after this current one. What's my role there?
Yep. So the next rotation, it would depend with your agency. So what happens for the third rotation, because our graduates have stayed within their cluster for the first two placements because of the COVID situation, third placement, they will rotate to an external agency. So your agency will then get incoming graduates. So the agency coordinator will then be, looking at, what managers they may assign those incoming graduates to, and those graduates will have the same qualifications and functional area of interest that your agency currently has. So I suppose it's just you liaising with your agency coordinator whether they would be assigning you a graduate for placement 3 or putting up your hand if you want a graduate.
Okay, good. Thanks,
Yep.
Donna.
Sorry, and one thing I would just like to mention, we know at the moment, our graduates are struggling a bit, working from home. Some of them, they have not worked before. So it's, they had a couple of weeks working in the office and now they're working from home. We're trying to really support them as well by, running virtual events. Each diploma of government, we're there as well to talk to them. We are having, I've just sent them some information about Young Professional Network is having a virtual event after work, so they can, catch up with other, and connect with other people as well. We're having a career development workshop, as I said, in November. It's really important, I think, if you maybe identify that your graduate is struggling, reach out to the agency coordinator or, to let us know as well, because we want to try and support them as much as we can. I'm sort of catching up with some of the other grads on a regular basis as well. In April, we had a networking event with Grant Trebico. He's the founder of One Wave. So it's about, mental health and supporting it. And we sort of identified there that some of the graduates were struggling. So we're sort of staying in contact with them on a regular basis. So just being mindful, some of these graduates are I think a bit, finding a little bit difficult. And the other thing is, the diploma of government, as I said, mentioned, some of them are behind, and that is a concern for me because each workshop they go to, they get additional assessments to complete. So what we thought we would do, we've just started, is sending comms out to the managers. So you actually know what's coming up. We've sort of relied on the grads to tell you. We do have the diploma of government handbook on our website, but we thought, by trying to, I suppose, let you know more about what it is, you can have that conversation and just sort of see, with the module coming up, is there some work that I can give them which can actually help with this assessment?
All right, that would be good. Yes, two things. I've actually sat down with my graduate regarding how I can best support her studies in the diploma of government. And the other thing that seems to be very effective in our team is that I've buddied her up with somebody else who's actually a previous grad. And that's really great in terms of support and mental health, well-being, sense of connectiveness. It seems to be working very well. And then the last thing is just regular catch-ups with myself and her in my one-on-ones.
That's really great to hear, Sam. Thank you. I'll give you a gold star.
Gold star. I'm off to a flying start, am I?
we have a gold star board ourselves at work. We've just finished the application process for the 2021 program.
Yes.
And we have, whoever wins actually has to buy the champagne, which doesn't seem fair. But we received 6,377 applications for the 2021 program. Last year we had 4,000. So that's a massive increase.
That is. I'm a big supporter of the program. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
How many positions are there for that 6,000?
Yes. This year we're looking at the agency commitment. This year is John, is approximately 150 roles. So the current cohort is 182. So, you know, I'm always looking if anyone else wants to take more grads. You know, this year we have extended our regions as well. We've included the North Coast region as well as the New England, Central West and Hunter. We've also introduced a new functional area of interest, you know, engineering. You know, we have, you know, amazing candidates. You know, if you want to be involved as an assessor, I mean, if you haven't done it before, like, it's a really good opportunity because they go through such a rigorous assessment process. The caliber of talent at the assessment centres just amazes me. You know, what they actually do as volunteers, the passion that they have. It's always a great opportunity too, if you're going to take a grad for 2021, if there's anyone that you particularly like, if you've assessed them in the pool, you know, you make a note of it, and, you know, if they are successful, we can, you know, assign them to you to review. So I think it's, you know, it's a great opportunity. Yeah, and you get trained as well, which is good.
Yep. Yeah, no, I was interested in what you were saying about, the struggling with working remotely, because, this is, our new grad is actually based in Perth. So,
okay, yes. Isabel Flynn.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I only know Isabel because we were able to do, you know, 30 university visits for our campaign because we didn't have to go places, and one of them was we went to Western Australia twice, and Isabel was my graduate that I used to talk about her experiences.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So no, definitely keeping an eye out for any issues there, and she progresses, but.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, I like you know, that's a really good idea. And, you know, John and others, you know, budding up, if there's someone in your organisation that, you know, is a grad that's just finished in the 2019 cohort, you know, maybe even, you know, budding your new grad up with a completed grad, you know, we can always let you know in your agency who's completed, or, you know, reach out to your agency coordinator, because sometimes it is just having that someone else to talk to, you know, about who's finished the program, maybe experiencing some of the issues that they're going through now.
Yeah, and I think in chatting to her, she had a couple of weeks in the office before the March lockdown, and went to work from home.
Yeah,
which was back in Perth, and she's been there ever since.
Yeah, I don't know when she'll be able to come back.
No, it's well, I never actually met my last grad in person, so.
Yeah. Well, our team, Gemma on our screen, I don't actually see Gemma physically because she's actually based in Brisbane.
Yes. No, it's certainly a new way of working.
Yeah. We have the PSC. We have other staff in Bathurst, and another staff member down at Bateman's Bay.
Yeah,
they work full-time remotely, and now and again will actually come into the office.
Yeah, well, she's joined my team. We're all geographically dispersed anyway, so we have good processes in place for managing our work in that regard. So Perth is just another extension.
It'd be nice to go and visit.
Yeah, I'd do that.
One day.
Yeah, one day. That's right. That's right. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Hi, Donna. It's Andrew Bedrossian here. I'm from the Sustainability Programs branch within DPI. I just wanted to clarify. So our team, we had a graduate in the first rotation who has now moved on into a policy-based team for his second rotation, which is great. And we've had a new graduate come into our sustainable government team now for rotation 2. I just wanted to clarify the expectations with our graduate, with our original graduate, and now as he's in rotation 2, and then we'll move on to another functional area outside of DPI for rotation 3. What are the expectations with them, as well as the expectations with the new graduate that's come into our team in rotation 2, or if we get another new graduate in rotation 3 as well? Because I'm just picking up on some of the notes there in the presentation, just around keeping eyes and keeping track of our original graduate, and if we're a team that's probably going to have 2 or 3 different graduates. I just want to understand the exact obligations and expectations with each of those.
Yep. I suppose the original graduate. I'm assuming they will be coming back to you at the end and being made ongoing in your area.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
So it's really important that you stay in contact with that graduate throughout the whole 18 months,
Okay.
because what you want to make sure is that, you know, they know that they're coming back to you, you know, there's a role for them. You know, you don't want them to, you know, when they're in third placement, start thinking, okay, well, I really like it here, I'd like to stay here. It's, you know, it's keeping that conversation, you know, up and happening all the time, you know, with that grad. And as I said, even, you know, their mentor as well, because, you know, grads want to know that they've got a place back, you know, where they came from.
Sure.
So you know, I would be keeping that conversation, you know, even, you know, when they move to the second placement, just, you know, staying in contact with them, you know, how you're going, you know, just reaching out with them. With the graduates you get in, it's still that role of as a manager, but they're not going to be your ongoing commitment. So it's still making sure that you treat them as, you know, you would any other team member. And,
Sure.
you know, in that. Your third one, I suppose it depends, you know, you'd have to speak to Alison. You know, I'm assuming you would get another graduate back in there. You know, once again, it's just your role as you would with a manager of a temporary employee, but being mindful that they're a graduate, you know, any leave that they may, any time off that they need for networking events or their diploma of government, you know, having that conversation and being, you know, knowing that that's happening, and just making sure too that, you know, with their performance and development plans, that you are setting them up for success, because we really want them to be able to meet those capabilities at the end of the program. We, the first time ever this year, we've had a graduate has not been made ongoing. So, which is, you know, in 5 years, it's not good. But we really want to make sure that, you know, if there is any issues with their performance, that you're having that regular conversation, so there's no surprises.
Yep, great advice. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Could I just to follow on from that question, if we've got a graduate, say in their second rotation or their third rotation, and we really like them and we think they're really suited to our team, is there a way that we, I guess, is there a way that they, if a job came up in our team, is there a way that they can come to us rather than going back to their first placement?
Is this, sorry, like, so you've got a grad, you mean like a grad from another agency, or a grad from your own agency, or both?
Well, the one, I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but the grad that just started with us, her first placement was in DCS, and her second placement is with us at DCS. So, and I don't know if this is the case, but she seems fabulous, and I just thought, well, if there is a case where you've got a second or third rotation grad and you really like them and they really like your team, do they necessarily have to go back to their original, their first placement?
I would be like talking to Tom Fitzpatrick, you know, your agency coordinator, and, you know, just talking to them about, you know, with this particular grad, their home agency grad, you know, is there an opportunity to look at placing this graduate in your area, if you can commit to giving them an ongoing role? We would want them just to actually finish the program, because if they leave the program early, they're not going to finish their diploma of government. And we really want them to have that opportunity to develop and grow. And also, you know, they like going to the networking event, the next one, career development. We will be also running another workshop for them in February, which will be going on about, you know, resumes and, you know, how to apply for jobs, that sort of thing as well. If you like this particular grad, I'd be having that conversation with your agency. As I said, we don't want them to leave the program early.
I was a graduate several years ago, so I understand it's not good to leave the program.
Yeah.
It was more like a theoretical question.
Yeah.
I did one in a federal government agency, and there most of the grads actually stayed in their last placement. So I was just wondering, theoretically, is that possible, rather than I wouldn't want her to leave the program. The program is amazing.
What I would be doing too is, you know, when she goes to the third placement, as I said, it's staying in contact with them, you know, like actually letting them know. And if they are a high performer and you think that there may be an opportunity to use the GSE rule as well, that's an opportunity for them to know, okay, great, I'm really valued here. I've got a career, you know, it may be at a 5-6 level at the end of the 18 months program. So yeah.
Donna.
It's all right. Any other questions? If questions do come up and you just haven't answered them today, you know, please write in. I'm Donna Bristow at Public Service Commission, you know, newsouthwales.gov.au, because we are here to help you. You know, being a manager of a graduate, there are different, you know, requirements around it, you know, and so we want to make sure that, you know, you understand them, you feel supported as well. So, you know, just reach out to us, because, and there's no question is a silly question, as I always tell people, because, you know, you need to ask. We also will be surveying you. So in placement 2, we really do value manager feedback. So if you think there's things that, you know, could be tweaked, or you want to make some comments about the program, we really appreciate, you know, constructive feedback. So that survey will be coming up at the end of this placement. Okay. I think if there's no more questions, we might close the meeting. And as I said, thank you very much for coming along. If you've got any questions, yeah, please reach out to us. And thank you very much for being a manager of a graduate.
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Gemma.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Many
Okay.
thanks.